Hey guys, this is my new Threadripper PC. It has a Threadripper 1920X, a Radeon VII, 32 gigs of RAM, and it was supposed to be the Phantom Gaming build, but because of complications with the cooler not actually working for Threadripper, despite the fact it said it did on one of the websites that I looked at that was totally incorrect, I should have looked at it. It ended up just being a nice Threadripper PC, but I've got a Radeon VII. It's a dream workstation PC. It's great. It'd be great for like rendering, some really just 12 cores, 24 threads, Threadripper, 64 PCIe lanes, Radeon 7, 16 gigs of HBM2. Honestly, just an amazing PC for doing work. So let's test gaming performance on it. Oh, this is my new NVMe drive that I made. It basically has a copy of Windows and my suite, I guess you're supposed to call it, of games that I'm going to use to benchmark all my systems now. This is a godsend, okay? This is an amazing thing to have. It basically, you slot in a PCIe, it's like an NVMe SSD in there, 512 gigs, and it's an amazing piece of hardware. But let's plug it in. Probably turn that off first. Now you'll notice it's like all random colors, not really like organized, Phantom Gaming, it's got this cool RGB, you could sync it up and stuff. Well, that's because I've actually not even been on this PC yet. This SSD was originally in the PC, but it just had Windows on it, and it was just to launch it, and then I put it away, I shelved it to do I had 2 more builds to do before I could make a video about this, and now I have this set up to test new builds, which is great, and it's getting ready, whatever. And so I haven't done any of the RGB yet. It should be all Phantom Gaming enabled, which is great, except for never mind, I'm using the H510i, meaning I have to use NZXT's stupid proprietary software, which is super annoying because the cam software is literally malware, but whatever. It's fine. I might just leave that backlight white. You know what? Actually, I will. Screw cam. I'm not using it. I'm not using that software. Okay, one thing I just noticed, which is completely pointless to this video, but I'm going to add, I had the Ethernet plug connected to the red Ethernet port in the back. There's 2, and it didn't work. Then I plugged in the black one, it did. I don't know. Just, that's weird. I don't know if that's like one of them's for management, whatever, but that's the point. Let's hop into some gaming and just see what this beast can do. Alright, so our first game is going to be CSGO, and instead of telling you how it went, I'm just going to show you how it went. And don't forget, I actually like playing the games rather than just running a benchmark. I know a benchmark kind of shows you all the different stuff. Yeah, I don't care. I want to play video games. You want to see how it performs in video games. Let's do the best of both worlds, and I'm going to show you me playing like a minute of Counter-Strike Deathmatch, because I like it. I, of course, also did run the benchmark after my run, and wow, 144 Hz has really ruined me because I cannot play at all on 60 Hz anymore, which is what this monitor is. Thanks for being broken. But I, of course, also ran the benchmark after and got a score of 265.8 FPS. 0.08 FPS, not that it matters, but so, that's pretty low, relatively speaking, but Threadripper, not bad for the person who wants to do work by day and hit on a gaming by night. I also misnamed the thing in Afterburner, so that'll be fixed in the next benchmark. Alright, our next game is, of course, Hitman 2. I decided to go from a game that's very CPU intensive, CSGO, to a game that's completely GPU intensive to test that Radeon VII, which I, of course, have had problems with all the time with its clock speed and stuff like that, but that's the point. To play Hitman 2, and I'm putting it on ultra settings to really stress that 16 gigs of VRAM and all that other jazz on the Radeon 7, and of course it's less than optimal cooling, but like, that's besides the point. Let's hop into Hitman 2. And I will be, of course, running my slaughter test. I will be running the benchmark as well, obviously, but I'm going to run my in-house slaughter test, and I feel that it really lets me play the game how it's supposed to be played.
Welcome to Mumbai, 47.
Help me. Quit your goddamn daydreaming. You gotta act on this, man. You gotta help. Something terrible is happening. Yeah, I'm not here for too long. Cool. Check it out. Stay low and follow me, and I'll get you out. Oh God! Help! Please help me! No way! I can't take him.
Alright, so I of course ran the benchmark after that, and we got a score of 59.10 average FPS. Very respectable. Pretty expected to be kind of low, relatively speaking. Low for me is anything below 100 on a PC. That's how kind of I feel about FPS. But I mean, I could obviously turn on the settings and easily get over 100 FPS. It's pretty easy. There's plenty of CPU and GPU power available, especially if you try to share it. But obviously, if you go an all CPU game or an all GPU game, that's where actually this PC starts to struggle, as it just doesn't have the resources to go full in on either side, unless it can really multi-thread, multi-core. Speaking of multi-thread and multi-core, let's move on to a game that you might not recognize. Some of you, it's not really a super popular game, it's kind of a niche game, but it actually, I realized recently, is really good at stressing the CPU and GPU. It's both graphically intensive on highest settings, and also it has a lot of NPCs. I'm of course talking about Mount and Blade Bannerlord. Mount and Blade Bannerlord, Mount and Blade 2, it's the second game, and basically, it has a lot of CPU logic in it. You know, it's got a lot of NPCs who have to choose what to do and stuff like that, which allows it, I believe, at least I'm not an expert and I'm not going to research this, but I believe it allows it to stretch it across more cores. And I've seen this game using up to 50% of a 12-core CPU, which I believe means it's using 6 cores. So I think it can use up to 6 cores, 12 threads, or something like that. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's using around 6 cores for all that NPC logic. So I'm going to hop into a big battle. I'm going to do the big battle test, and we'll see how our CPU fares in this test.
Archers! Move! Stand up! Archer forward!
So I ran my Horse Archer Slaughter test, and well, I mean the FPS was kind of low. I mean it was around the 40s to 60s, which is quite expected for that many NPCs. It was of course 500 NPCs, and not to mention 250 horses, so 750 total logical things in the whatever. But basically the CPU, the Threadripper, got to around 60 to 70% usage at some points, which is crazy to me considering it's a 12 core 24 thread part. That's the point. So yeah, FPS was a little low, and I kind of expected that on max settings, but you saw the graphics card was at 100%, and naturally the CPU is not going to get to 100% because it's not going to use all 12 cores, but it definitely got a lot of usage. So that was kind of a, you know, both stressed best case scenario game, and you're looking at about 40 to 50 to, I mean, in some cases 60, and in that game is actually completely playable, to be honest. So that's the point. So definitely, obviously, I could lower the settings. I'm doing max settings because that's just awesome, and the game looks amazing to me, at least. I don't know about you, but that's the point. So I'm going to finish off this video so it's not super crazy long. I mean, I do have other games. I've got, you know, Rainbow Six Siege, Far Cry 5. Yeah, I mean, I've got Rainbow Six Siege and Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 will be about the same as Hitman, and Rainbow Six Siege will be about the same as CSGO, so it's not really no real point in testing them. But I will leave you guys off with my GTA benchmark, which I like to end my videos with, because just, you can click off if you want to. It'll just be me doing my normal police chase where I just get cops and see how long I can last, and I show the whole clip. So I will leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this video. I will be doing some overclocking and of course some hopefully Premiere Pro editing tests on this PC as well. If you guys want to see that, leave a comment and a like. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Piece of shit! We are airborne and heading in. Anybody have a visual? Eagle 1, we can't see him. You lot really were pathetic. We have a visual on the turret. Excuse me!